So, Lions fall to the 49ers yesterday, 41-33. Don't let the score fool you. Did we leave when it was 41-17?
We
2-minute warning.
Yeah, we left when it was looking pretty dire, and then the second that we leave, a miraculous comeback starts happening where they
score I think 16 points in I think a minute and a half. We're watching the highlights right now. That's funny that they got him going.
Of course, ESPN showing that ugly Jared Goff pick over and over again, but
Well, yeah, I guess you know what? I didn't see that he got pushed back into his lineman. Although there's 3 49ers right there, so not a good throw.
No.
Let's stop getting distracted by this, though.
Yep. Maybe don't have it on next time we come over to record.
Yeah, I don't know. Where do you want to start?
This is super surface level. Just something I noticed that I kind of enjoyed, and it has nothing to do with the performances of either team. Mm-hmm. I just want to say, for the record, huge fan of the fact that we're bringing back the captain patches on the jersey. Yeah, let's go, dude. Yeah. I noticed that they were. Well, I guess I didn't notice that they were gone until they were back, and I was like, oh yeah.
Yeah, cool. No, that was super nice to see.
And I think it gives fans a visual connection to a team. Like, these are the leaders of this new team where we don't know who's who. I think that it does help fans kind of identify that. Small tangents.
It does and it doesn't. Here's why. Alonzo, take that patch right off.
Already, week 1, you're mailing it in with
that guy was stunk. The linebackers in general, here's where I want to start out with. You want to know the game plan to beating the Lions? Throw it in the middle of the field. It's wide open every single time. You watch the highlights to that game yesterday on YouTube. Every single 49ers play. Middle of the field. Deebo Samuel.
I want to say he had a career day. He had 180 something yards and a pair of scores.
Linebackers in our secondary is so bad. They're so bad. Positive note, they didn't quit, which was
yeah. I mean, a lot of the stuff that you're talking about, yes, they didn't play perfect in the second half either, but the first half they looked especially bad,
very bad.
But they definitely came out at halftime and put up a much more promising performance. And last week we talked about on the show. For me, you had a whole laundry list of specifics that you wanted from the team.
I actually had the
results from that. Yes. So, for me, it was more so of hey, let's keep building on the preseason positive vibes here. Let's keep just showing that young guys can be playmakers, and we keep, don't get embarrassed out there. And by the time the game was over, I think we were one of the better looking NFC North teams of the week in an 0-4 division.
It's hard to say, man. It really is. The fact that they didn't quit is awesome.
The 49ers are a great team.
I understand that, but they were up 41-17 and then pulled all their starters.
Oh, dude, don't get me. I mean, but around halftime, I had already been all right, we're going to the Wynn Sports Lounge. We're going to get some chicken tenders and some drinks, and I'm hanging out here for the rest of the afternoon. I mean, it looked at halftime
it was dire.
Last thing I saw before I went up to the sports bar was that Goff interception,
which was terrible.
Yeah, so it was a little worrisome at first. Something positive too, I noticed Jamal Williams looked really good.
The run game in general looked really good. Here's an issue. They have Penei Sewell at left tackle,
who played well.
The guy looks like a stud.
He played well against one of the best defensive lines in the NFL.
They can against one of the best pass rushers in the NFL. Period.
With Bosa, right?
Bosa, he gave up 1 sack. But the guy literally had not played a snap of competitive football in, I think, almost about 2 years, and because he was out last year due to COVID, or he sat out last year due to COVID. And then he was playing right tackle all preseason, all spring, all summer, was getting just absolutely torn to shreds in the media. Everybody was super worried. They moved him over days in advance of his first career game against Nick Bosa, who is an absolute stud. And he plays out of his mind. He plays so well. So what do you do when Taylor Decker's ready to come back?
It's crazy, dude. I mean, I was driving over here today, already the national media is asking, or not the local media, is asking Dan Campbell in his presser about, hey, he played really well.
What
What are we doing now?
Yeah.
And Dan Campbell's doing the smart coach's decision to go, hey, we're thinking about Green Bay. We're not even thinking about that right now. But yeah, man, it's a real question now because look, he's the guy that you invested a top 10 draft pick in, and is, if everything goes the way it could go, could be one of the best tackles in the NFL. And Taylor Decker is a very good left tackle and a very solid left tackle. But I kind of said it last week's show, man, when we were talking about this stuff a little bit. If I'm the Lions, I'm kind of leaning a little bit more towards setting Sewell up to be an elite player for a decade to come, rather than tailoring to Taylor Decker. You like that? That's good. But just trying to keep a very solid above average tackle just appeased. And I know he's been a very productive player here and he has earned a lot of respect, but you just got to look at this from the upside of Sewell.
I think at this point, you do have to do what you talked about, and you have to go to Taylor and be like, listen, man, I'm sorry, but please go to right tackle.
And look, he's still getting his paycheck. It's just the same. I mean, and if he doesn't like it, I mean, it sucks. But if I'm the Lions and I'm looking at Penei Sewell and he does more of that, then that's where he needs to be.
He 100%. And God forbid, they have to find a way to make it work. And I really do think that they have to find a make it work with Penei at left, because they can't trade Taylor Decker. That guy is too valuable at this point.
No.
Yeah.
Even at right tackle, he'll be above average for sure.
I think so too. But at this point, I really do think you got to move forward with Penei at left tackle.
Let's talk about the Niners just a little bit here. Their defense looked really good in the first half. Second half, not as good, but offensively, they were blowing the doors off of us to begin that game. Deebo Samuel, as I said, had maybe a career day. Don't quote me on that, but he had a really good day.
I mean, Jimmy Garoppolo had 325 yards on 25 attempts.
He looked really good. We even got to see a little bit of Trey Lance packages like we kind of discussed last week on the show. Maybe seeing that kind of unveiled against us because they were kind of playing coy about who the starter was going to be.
Yeah.
So we kind of got a little sample of everything that they could do, and against a bad team, I mean, they're going to look like
they're already getting bad injuries. Speaking of injuries, I mean, we just glanced over Jeff Okudah being out for the rest of the season.
Well, I mean, as it sounds, I mean, he kind of wasn't good yesterday, so it's not really that big of a downgrade right now.
The DB coach getting up in his grill and screaming. Did you watch that video?
Yeah, I saw the clip.
Oh my God. I mean, I don't know what it is, man, but I don't know why he's yelling at him. Maybe it's because Okudah's talking back to him or something like that. A lot of people are saying that's not how you coach players. But at the same time, I feel like that coach pretty much sums up all the frustration that every single fan has with that guy. Dude, we took him third overall.
Nick Bosa was the third overall pick in his draft.
You need to perform at a higher level.
He needs to be a lockdown number one corner without a question, not a fringe CB2.
Fringe CB2 is putting it lightly. I mean, that play that he gave up to Deebo, that was horrendous. He didn't turn his head or anything. He just flops out onto the field. And that's not even what the coach was yelling at him about. He apparently defended a run play very poorly, which, I mean, that is the same old shit with this team. They cannot defend the run either. They struggle against the run. They struggle against the pass. Defensive line, zero pressure. Trey Flowers, nowhere to be found. Okora.
This is insane, you fool.
Bad game for Okora. He had one tackle. Julian Okora, healthy scratch.
Wow. Not the first time we heard that in his career.
Yeah, what the hell?
Well, okay, but I am gonna give them their flowers a little bit, though. Not their Trey Flowers, just give them their flowers. They look, Matt Patricia in their era here, if this game was going the way it was going and they were losing, 31-17 at halftime, right?
It would have been game over.
Would have been game over. And we saw them make adjustments. We saw them fight back, climb back into making an 8-point game.
I'm saying that is easily the biggest positive to come out of this game, is that they did not quit at all. They had a legit chance of coming back down the field and tying it in the last couple of seconds. They got stopped, unfortunately. But the fact that they were put in that position to begin with you're right. During the Patricia era, that would never have happened.